How do I renew my asylum seeker's permit? The short answer: you can email the RRO where you got your most recent extension to make an appointment or try to renew it online. The long answer: as you know, the refugee reception offices RRO of Home Affairs were all closed during the pandemic in 2020, and Home Affairs had to grant a blanket extension of the permits until 31 December 2021, which was later extended to 30 April 2022. Home Affairs set up an online renewal system in April 2021, but many asylum seekers found great difficulty in using this system. Home Affairs was urged to fix it, but it is not clear how well this system is working yet. Now, since 4 May 2022, Home Affairs says that asylum seekers can make appointments to renew their permits at the RRO, where they got their latest permit. The refugee offices in Pretoria, Durban and PE are open. The CPT refugee office has been closed for 10 years, and Home Affairs was ordered by the courts to open it. Home Affairs is now cooperating with the court order and is fixing up a building in Maitland. It is supposed to be open in early 2023, but is not yet open, as far as I can see. Tariro Washinyira, in an April 2022 article for Ground Up, quoted Home Affairs as saying, "In view of the termination of the national state of disaster, the department is finalizing plans to allow walk-in. Once the plan is finalized, the refugee community will be informed through various mechanisms such as public notices and stakeholder engagements on how services can be accessed." But in the same article, Sharon Ekambaram of Lawyers for Human Rights expressed worry about how Home Affairs would communicate to asylum seekers and refugees. So, although Home Affairs says it will allow walk-ins to the RROs, it may be safer to make an appointment for now. Home Affairs says that it is better to make an appointment to avoid long queues. You can make an appointment by emailing the RRO, where you got your most recent extension, and asking for an appointment. You can also email the RRO to extend your permit online. They will send you an email back explaining the process and giving you the form that you need to fill out and telling you what other documents you need to bring. The Scalabrini Center of CPT, which is an NGO that assists asylum seekers and refugees, says that when you write the email to Home Affairs, you must send this from your own personal email address. They say you should send one separate email for each person documented in your asylum file. For example, spouses or children. Each of these emails can be sent from your own personal email address. In the email, you must write your full name as it appears on your asylum document and file number. In the subject line of the email, you need to write your file number as it appears on your document. They advise that you can print the form and fill it out by hand, then scan and upload it as an attachment. They say that you should be able to do this at an internet. Can my partner's surname be changed to my surname when we get married as a same-sex couple? The short answer: yes. Both partners in a civil union can choose what surnames they will be known by. The long answer: the civil union register allows both spouses to choose the surnames by which they will be referred after their marriage. And Part E of the civil union register allows them to indicate the surnames they wish to be recorded in the population register. All the rights and duties of heterosexual marriage now apply to same-sex marriages too, which, as Chris McConaughey pointed out in this thesis, means that the Births and Deaths Registration Act also applies to same-sex unions. But, he explains, there are contradictions between Section 26(1) of the Births and Deaths Registration Act and the Civil Union Act. Section 26(1) of the Births and Deaths Registration Act says that no individual can assume any other name than the one recorded in the population register, except that a married woman can change her name to her husband's. A heterosexual man would have to apply to the Director General of Home Affairs for permission to change his name. So, says McConaughey, if the Civil Union Act gives same-sex couples the right to choose their surname, it is in conflict with Section 26(1) of the Births and Deaths Registration. This could be problematic down the line with passports. For example, if this is not sorted out by the legislature, the Department of Home Affairs website states that passports are issued in accordance with your names as they appear in the National Population Register (NPR) at the time of your application. Any changes to your names must be applied for, finalized and recorded in the NPR before you submit your passport application. But there is no problem with your partner taking your surname when you marry. How can my girlfriend get a birth certificate so that we can get a birth certificate for our son? The short answer: Your girlfriend will have to apply for a late birth registration LBR. The whole question? How can my girlfriend can get a birth certificate so that we can get a birth certificate for our so? The long answer. Your girlfriend will have to apply for a late birth registration LBR. This will involve an interview with Home Affairs DHA officials, as well as submitting the documents listed below. If you're older than 15 and haven't been registered, your birth registration application must accompany your application for an ID, supporting documentation like ID of parents, as well as written reasons why the birth was not registered within 30 days of birth. And you must be a South African citizen or permanent residence permit holder with a valid South African ID. It can take a very long time to get an appointment from Home Affairs for LBR interview, as they have a large backlog of applications for LBR interviews. I have set out the requirements and the process for registering your son's birth below. A baby's birth has to be registered at Home Affairs within 30 days of being born. These are the documents you need to take to Home Affairs DHA to register the baby's birth and get a birth certificate with the baby's ID number on it. If the baby was born at a health facility, the form proof of birth completed by a medical practitioner who attended the birth and examined the mother after the birth. If the baby was born at home, the form proof of birth affidavit. After 30 days but before 1 year, you need to present the following documents to Home Affairs. A proof of birth, completed by a medical practitioner who attended the birth and examined the mother after the birth. An affidavit giving reasons for late registration of birth. Home Affairs may decide that the parents must be interviewed by a panel, and if one of the parents is not South African and not married, they may ask for a DNA test. After 1 year but before 15 years, a completed form together with written reasons why the birth wasn't notified. And as many as possible of the following documents to confirm the child's identity. A certificate from the hospital or maternity home where the child was born. The certificate must be signed by the person in charge and contain the institution's official stamp. Official confirmation of the child's personal details, taken from the school register of the first school attended by the child. The confirmation must be on the school's official letterhead, be signed by the principal, and contain the school's official stamp. The child's baptismal certificate, sworn affidavits by the parents, a clinic card, school reports. Home Affairs says that both parents must be present to register the birth.